Welcome to Bible Reader Companion. Our reading this week is Galatians chapters 5 and 6, the entire book of Ephesians chapters 1 through 6, and the book of Philippians chapters 1 and 2. I want to end our week the way we began, by looking at our memory verse and the context around it. In chapter 6 and verse 11 is our memory verse, which says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." I want to again read verses 10 through 13, but I want to also continue on a little further past this. He says, beginning in verse 10, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always, with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplications for all the saints." You know, we could spend a host of sermons, much less a few days of Bible commentary, looking at this armor of God that we're to put on. But a few brief thoughts in the time that we have as we bring this week to a close. One is we see how much defense that we have. We have the truth, we have righteousness, we have the gospel of peace, we have faith. We have all of these things to help us defend against the devil attacking us. That'll tell us something. It's a heavy-duty attack. It's not a light thing that you can brush off. You can't just put on a light jacket and go out and say, "I'm ready to face this enemy." You need to gird up. You need to prepare. You need to understand that you are under attack. And you need to make sure that you use this equipment that you're given. That we put on these things and we use these things. We don't defend ourselves with the church. We don't defend ourselves with the elders. We don't defend ourselves with our own wisdom and wit. We don't defend ourselves with anything of human origin. All of these things are powerful and positive and can be advantageous, but the real defense, wherever it may come from, has to be rooted in the Word of God and in His truth and in His righteousness. Can we turn to men for assistance? Certainly we can. But only if that assistance is based in and rooted in the foundational principles that are our armor. But there's something else. And that is that there are times we're going to have to go on the offensive. You know, He didn't say, go and build yourselves a fort and hide in it and close the gate and defend, and all you got to do is defend. He told us to equip a sword, that we might be ready to make attack. Not attack people physically, not attack people in rude and mean ways with our speech. You know, there are people who take the idea that we have differences and use that as an excuse for violence. They use that as an excuse for verbal attacks. And God never intended that. However, what He did intend is for us to use the truth to expose error, to use the truth to show where Satan has undermined His truth, not only in our own lives, but in others, and in our world, and in our society. And the only way we can be prepared, both to defend and to attack, is Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Thank you for thinking on these things with us this week, and we hope you'll join us again next week. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.